And even sacred institutions. They were tear-gassing churches. Like, really? How do you tear-gas a church where you have like the statue of Jesus Christ? Yo, Jesus wept already.
Yeah, just you and your girl go to the CBD instead of paying for a gym membership. And plus, instead of paying for a trainer, no tear gas will impregnate your girlfriend. Hashtag Frankie just gym it. Me, I'm okay. Just
Things you can say at a protest and in bed.
Dinywa.
Arguing that tear gas should be used in protests is a man who went to the demonstrations only after seeing that baddies were unharmed. So put your hands together for Mr. George Waweru! And his opponent tonight, arguing against the use of tear gas, is a man who sounds like he just missed out on a CS spot. You'll hear. Let's give it up for Nathan Ray Ray! All right, debaters, remember decorum. Decorum. So, starting us off is George Waweru arguing for the use of tear gas in protests. George, take it away.
thank you. Tear gas, the cologne of democracy. The scent of freedom, a symbol of national unity. I mean, protests without tear gas are just un-Kenyan. It's like opening a mzinga before slapping it on the ass, consensually. It's like eating mutura at a clean spot. No one does that. It's very un-Kenyan, right? If you've never been tear gassed, can you even call yourself a Kenyan? Thank you. Let's start with the historical facts. Tear gas was classified as a chemical weapon that has been banned in most countries, especially in the use of war. So you might ask, why is it then allowed to be used against civilians? And I have the answers for you. The answers lie in its chemical composition. The active chemical agent in tear gas is called deoxyribonucleic acid, and when absorbed in small amounts, it has been found to increase brain capacity and brain activity in the left hemisphere. Have you ever wondered, like you come from demonstrations and you feel like, I'm a bit learned, I got, it's your IQ rising, that's the tear gas working. It's not, we learn a few things. Again, tear gas is the mark of a serious protest, right? When you're peaceful protesting and then cops launch a tear gas canister towards your way, that's the way of saying the government has now arrived to the negotiation table. We are here. We've heard your cries and we know they are serious. So here's our first point of order. Like, have you seen this protest where Kenyans in diaspora are trying to like garner support, show their support, but it hasn't made headlines because there's no tear gas in Europe. There's nothing, we're not taking them seriously. And my opponent here will try and convince you that the use of tear gas is inhumane, right? But I actually think that tear gas is one of the most fairest use weapons a cop can have at his disposal. Because first of all, tear gas allows for a back and forth between protesters and the cops. Right? It's a measure of who has better aim and resilience. And it's safe. You can run from a tear gas canister. You can hide from it. You can jump it. You can't catch a live bullet and throw it back to the cops. It's one of the better weapons. You can't apply toothpaste on your chest and pretend to be immune to bullets. RIP, the Majimaji rebellion. That didn't. Yeah, you never heard someone say they were using live tear gas at the protest. But it's not even that dangerous. Do you remember the cop who tossed a tear gas canister into a matatu? Right? That matatu, it went away unharmed. Tear gas is not even that, it can't be that bad. Again, tear gas only hurts those with bad intentions, you know. During the demonstrations, only one officer was injured. Why? Because he was throwing it at peaceful protesters. That's just a throwaway point. I didn't have a lot of oomph on that one. Guess the lesson there is don't bite the hand that feeds you. Anyway, tear gas is also like a natural trainer. You don't have to pay for the gym. Instead of working out, me and my girl have been going to CBD every Tuesday. You can see these guns. These are not from a trainer. You can't. Yeah, just you and your girl go to the CBD instead of paying for a gym membership. And plus, instead of paying for a trainer, no tear gas will impregnate your girlfriend. Hashtag Frankie just gym it. Me, I'm okay. Just, I'll work out the patriotic way. That's me and my... And actually, the literal act of throwing a tear gas canister back to cops is also a symbol of like national heritage. In fact, one of our national heroes would not be where he is if it was not for tear gas. The one and only Julius Yego, he learned throwing a javelin just from demonstrating and participating in. That's how he learned. You can quote me on that one. Also, for those of you who are into love and matchmaking, tear gas actually played a very huge part in matchmaking. Guys, just imagine this romantic scenario, right? You're protesting the finance bill. A tear gas canister is thrown your way. You start running like a madman without no sense of direction, and then you bump into a baddie. You stare into each other's teary eyes with mucus running down your noses. And that, kids, is how I met your mother. Economically wise, tear gas always, the last few weeks, statistics say that toothpaste sales have gone up 5% in the last few. And entertainment value. Guys, come on, tear gas. In the CBD, every picture that has tear gas in the background looks like a Hollywood, like you can tell your grandkids you were in Vietnam fighting for the, you know, it's really cinematography, that word. Where else would you find the viral picture of that guy smoking tear gas? You know, his lungs are toast, but it's a small price to pay for freedom. And finally, and I think this is the most important one, tear gas has allowed men the opportunity to cry in public. Of course, men, society frowns upon a soft man, someone who is crying, but with tear gas, you know, everyone thinks you're crying because of the smoke. They don't know it's because your girlfriend caught you cheating and she won't forgive you, right? And I yield the floor to my opponent. Thank you for listening.
George Waweru, arguing that should be used. All right, now his opponent, Nathan Rere, arguing that tear gas should not be used in protest. Nathan, take it away.
Okay. I think they should not be used. First of all, police are using the privilege of using tear gas. For example, how can you tear gas a body? Like really, how can you tear gas a body? And leave alone the bodies. How did we reach a level where we even tear gas light-skinned guys like him? These are guys who are using Google Maps to maneuver during the protest.
Decorum.
Like, how can you tear gas a body? These are people who can even handle their emotions for good things. Right? Buddies cry when you can't even text them faster. And the most disturbing thing is, tear gas didn't work on buddies. That should be concerning. Why should you even use things that didn't work on buddies? I mean, we understand the water bosses, right? Cops are only perverts, right? But not tear gas. We even stopped smoking in matatos to protect buddies. Why tear gas them? Now our ladies are angry. We are angry. Everybody's angry. Hiyo inasaidia nani sasa? And the majority of the demonstrators were Gen Zs, right? These are guys who smoke everything. These are people who are into vaping, shisha, shares. Teargas is just another flavor. I mean, no wonder they were dancing for the teargas. Ilikuwa tu sherehe. And that's something we don't want to entertain as a country, fighting drug addiction. We see the government is concerned about alcohol consumption. The coast governors are concerned about muguga. I don't think we are ready for teargas addiction. We are not ready for teargas addiction right now. Kenyan claiming teargas in dawa ya homa. And I think we should use that as to our advantage. Instead of using teargas, why not use like a flavor of like marijuana, right? In 30 minutes, the protesters will be like immobilized. Because they ask themselves, why are we protesting, by the way? I don't think Bob Marley will be proud of this. Anyone angry? Who wants KFC? And there are numerous ways of dispersing Kenyans, right? Instead of teargas, bribe them. Yeah, bribe Kenyans. They will disperse. Play them the latest party album. They are just, and we always see a Kenyan saying, the only thing they fear is oat porridge and marriage. And most Gen Zs are not married. So why, instead of using teargas, why don't police show up one day with oat porridge in the protest? I mean, maybe just show up with porridge bosses in the gates of parliament. Nobody will have entered there. And that's why when Kenya invaded the parliament, they went to the kitchen. Because I don't know if there was oat porridge in there first, before proceeding. And as a country in the forefront of fighting climate change, I don't think using something that produces smoke is a good thing for us. That's not clean energy. We are destroying the ozone layer with these teargas. We want clean things. I mean, we say no to paper bags, no to plastics, and no to teargas too. We can't afford not getting carbon credits just to keep the COP credit. No. And teargas encourages people to come for protests, right? We saw things, we are kind of saying, Hakuna maandamano bila teargas. We saw hashtags like Teargas Tuesday. Do you know how interesting you have to be for Kenyans to change from Tiris Tuesday to Teargas Tuesday? That's concerning, right? And these teargas canisters, anyway, when they explode, they are too loud. And the main aim of this protest was to make our voices heard. How we start not participating? No, we should not use teargas. And what bothers me the most is lack of innovation. These teargas. We cannot be using the same flavor since 1982. We need an R&D department in the police. We should be having events like teargas, like events like where we test the new flavors of teargas every now and then. Can't be using like the same flavor like since forever, right? And teargas only chokes you and makes you cry for like 2 minutes. That's just a normal sex session with a Nairobi man. That's not something where you can say, people have been through this many times, right? And we need to stop using teargas and need to start recruiting police based on merit and not their dental formula. I mean, we saw a cop blowing up their arms. Really? If cops are not blowing up their arms, then in no sense are we safe. In no sense are we safe. I mean, now a cop blows both of his arms, right? At least we ask he can still be fit to be a police officer. But pada liu manje nayo, it's really sad. And teargas also ruin people's homesteads, right? We are a third world country. We still have people living on the streets. I don't think it's ethical throwing teargas at people's houses. We have street families. We even have people walking a street It affected them. You should have seen how uncomfortable it was for Koinangas Street people that night. Really, I don't think it's ethical to tear gas people workplaces. Now you are forcing them to come up with discounts like ukilipia unapewa mask. Ati pia hapa tuko na Colgate, unaweza paka kwa moja ukague mali vizuri. No. And we also have protesters who take advantage of the situation, stealing. When tear gas break into people's shop, they steal. Right? We even see they are looping tear gas at schools. That should be concerning, I mean, especially for some people. Especially if the land has some land enough to fit a commercial parking. That should be concerning to some people. And even sacred institutions. They were tear gassing churches. Like really? How do you tear gas a church where you have like the statue of Jesus Christ? Yo, Jesus wept already. What? Why are you making him go through it again? Now we are giving Jesus new ideas. Because he said he'll come back like a thief. Now he's seeing how thieves are operating these days. With tear gas. We are not ready for that. And I don't think there's also the need of using tear gas if the cops can target precisely. I mean, do you know how disappointing it is to go to a protest, then a cops target somewhere else instead of you? I mean, we've came to protest. The least you can do is acknowledge us. Why tear gas and mandatu? Target the protesters. And finally, we should stop using tear gas until we sort the issue of corruption, right? Like we saw them where like when the tear gas is returned back to the police officers, they had to borrow water from the protesters. Like seriously? We can't even subsidize the Kanjo water for our cops. At least let them carry their own water then. Until then, no to tear gas. Those are my points.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Worthy points brought up by each party. All right, now we will give an opportunity for rebuttals. Please listen closely, ladies and gentlemen. George, give us your rebuttals to Nathan's points.
Well, my opponent kept on mentioning the phrase, how do you tear gas a body? The same way you tear gas a kienyeji. We are an equal opportunity government. Tear gas works for both, you know. He also mentioned the adverse environmental effects that tear gas has on the planet and Kenya. But he forgot to mention that the tears that come from the tear gas, when they fall down, they provide much needed moisture to the trees in the CBD, countering the same effects he mentioned before. Thank you very much.
All right. More points, George? All right. Nathan.
Okay, you say that if you've never been tear gassed, you can't call yourself a Kenyan. How bold from a guy who clearly has never been to any demonstration. I mean, come on, Josh.
I was the lead of the body movement.
Which country are you from?
County 14.
Then you're also saying...
Decorum. Say with me, audience. Decorum. Thank you. Go ahead, Nathan.
So I was saying that tear gas is less dangerous than using things like bullets. Which school of thought is that? I mean, how can I argue with someone who is saying that tear gas sio mbaya na zile zimemzunguka? These are serious matter. Then he's saying that tear gas is a natural trainer. 30 men, his girlfriend, were running, jumping, crouching every Tuesday in the CBD. Which begs the question: if you manage to do all that with your girlfriend, to the last one, and you are still together, who is the man in that relationship?
The tear gas.
I mean,
All right. All right, are we done with the rebuttals? Anyone have a last rebuttal? All right, now, ladies and gents, it's time for the quick fire round. This is the last chance for you to decide who wins this very important debate. First, quick fire topic. And this is when they will just say what they think as I read out the first quickfire round topic, and that is things you can say at a protest and in bed. Anyone, take it away.
Ipande ni kubaya.
Leo lazima nilale ndani.
Ruto must go. Please, Ruto, go. Please, we don't want you here.
Leo nimeingia na style deadly.
Leo kamenuka. Ai, kwani leo ni ya yellow.
Kindly.
Leo ilikuwa kali.
Do you have toothpaste?
Occupy everywhere.
All right. Okay. Did you have I feel like you have another one in your head. Go for it.
Dinywa.
Sir. All right. Our next quick fire round question is blank must go. Blank must go.
Ruto, obviously. My opponent.
Wababa. Osama. Wiki G.
Anything else? All right. And our last quick fire. This is the last thing that helps you decide who is very important debate. The last topic. Protest pickup lines. Let's go.
Tukiangusha finance pin. Si hata mimi nikuweke chini.
I saw your protest sign from across the tear gas. How do you ignore a body? Roses are red, violets are blue, the water is pink. Do you want to go out for some drinks?
Nimesikia huyo mzee alishutiwa amededi. Hata mimi nimekukufia.
All right, any final? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the debate. Give it up for your two debaters, Judge Waweru, Nathan Ray Ray. But you all have a very important decision. By vote of your cheers and applause, we will decide who has won this debate. I will start on this side. George Waweru arguing that tear gas should be used in protests. If you think he won, give it up for George Waweru. All right. And on my left, Nathan Ray arguing that tear gas should not be used in protest. If you think he won, give it up for him. Well, study up, George. Give it up for your winner, Nathan Ray Ray.
Thank you.
Hey, shake hands because they. Thank you. Give it up for them one more time. Congratulations, Nathan.